is being inaugurated today, Friday. On the line to speak to the new move by the U.S. government is former UN Ambassador Mr. Crispin Gregoire. Mr. Gregoire, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon to your listeners at home and abroad.
Are you surprised as to what you're hearing this time, 10 days before, of course, Trump gets into power?
Not at all, Matt. I believe this was expected because immediately after the election, I believe it was in July, the U.S. had asked the Maduro government to provide its tally of its votes. And up to this point, that has not been done. Of course, the High Court of Venezuela did legitimize the win of Nicolas Maduro, but the opposition has shown its own tallies, which suggests that Mr. Gonzalez won more votes, got more votes than Mr. Maduro. So we have an impasse here, and I think if this has happened under the Biden administration, you can well imagine what President-elect Trump will say on inauguration day.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we can expect a hard-nosed, hard-line position from the Trump administration vis-a-vis Nicolas Maduro. So I think this next 10 days is going to be an interesting phase as we transition into what I see as very hardline anti-Maduro policy coming from Washington.
Do you know who's representing Dominica at the inauguration today, at that event? Would you know?
No, I don't know, but I do know that the accredited ambassador to Venezuela non-resident is Ambrose George. I don't know if he's still in that position, but the last time I checked, he was still accredited to Caracas. So I don't know. It's possible that the prime minister could go. He and Maduro are close buddies. So
well, from my information this morning, he is in Ireland. He's on island, so I don't know if he made that trip there to Venezuela.
Okay, so he probably has a representative, or he could designate whoever he wants to go to that. Could be, I don't want to speculate on who might represent him. I have no such information.
Well, of course, the world knows that Mr. Skerritt, applauded Mr. Maduro last year, even if the international community said that he did not win that election.
Well, Matt, I wouldn't expect anything otherwise. Mr. Maduro has been clearly one of his major benefactors, and to not publicly support him would be odd. So I expected that.
Do you think Dominica might suffer as a result that we're supporting Venezuela, but here is it, the international world is actually putting sanctions, including Canada and the UK, on the Maduro regime?
Well, it's difficult to say, Matt, because it's not just Dominica, it's also the rest of CARICOM.
Mm-hmm.
They have all supported Mr. Maduro. Of course, they were getting Petrocaribe largest. I don't know if any of them are getting Petrocaribe oil anymore. But CARICOM countries seem to see no problem with whatever irregularities may have come out of the Venezuelan election. For some reason, CARICOM sometimes is not true to its own governance principles that they espouse based on the things that they have ratified as far as, like, for example, civil and political rights, the Convention for Civil and Political Rights. All the CARICOM countries have ratified that UN convention, but they're not true to the letter of that convention. I mean, imagine with all of the problems that Dominica has had with its electoral reform problem, like Venezuela, the CARICOM countries are yet to tell the administration in Roseau that time is up and give the people their electoral reform as requested. So that's what happens when you have fraudulent election systems. Then it leads to fraudulent outcomes, and that's the reality of Venezuela. And Dominica is also very much close behind.
Because somebody's actually sending me a text message that says, or it reads, Dominica has to be very careful that it is not seen as cozying up to Maduro, a man who is increasingly isolated internationally. The US, the UK, and the EU don't recognize the government in Caracas. It is interesting that Russia, China, Cuba, and Iran recognize Maduro. So we have to be careful. This person is actually indicating or suggesting that we have to be careful that we don't seem to be seen cozying up with Maduro. You would support that point?
Well, we've already cozied up to him. The question is how deep do we want to continue on that pathway? Because if Maduro is going to be under assault from the US, we don't want our government to be fingered in that process. And that's what I think that person who sent you that note is absolutely correct, that there could be repercussions. Now, the thing is that Trump has been saying a lot of things without assuming the office yet. I don't know how he will actually perform once he's in the office. But if we have to go by the fact that he has surrounded himself with some hardline people who are anti-Maduro, I expect that he'll take a strong stance against Maduro and probably do things that we don't anticipate.
So you expect it to be more confrontational with the Maduro regime, Trump?
Yes, absolutely, Matt. There is going to be greater confrontation, and I just hope. My hope is that the U.S. does not do an intervention into Venezuela. I would prefer we resolve that problem peacefully and if there's going to be a transfer of power, let that happen, but without too much without bloodshed. Already there is bloodshed. There has been bloodshed in I believe in July, and then there are thousands of people who've been arrested for voting for the opposition. So I think that Venezuela is headed for some serious instability in the next week.
So if you were sitting in a room with Mr. Roosevelt Skerritt, what would be your advice going forward with the
I
Maduro regime?
I would say, sir, don't make any public statement.
You'd advise him not to make any public statement.
In support of Maduro, yeah. Just, whatever he has said before, let that be for the record. But going forward, I'll be very careful if that sheriff who is coming into Washington on the 20th of January.
But do you think, given his closeness to Maduro, he'll take your advice?
I don't know, Matt. The thing is that by association with Maduro, he's already on the list of people that they will be watching very closely. That is the people who will be making policy in Washington. Mr. Maduro has greater problems because there are presidents in South America who don't support him. Even the president of Chile has called for him to show the tally of his votes. I believe that the Colombian president has called for something similar. So Maduro's support in South America is falling. In the other country that's very important that he has problem with is Brazil. President Lula has called for transparency with the results. So Maduro's support is beginning to crumble, even with his peers in South America. It's only the Caribbean countries that up to this point have said nothing to caution him and to say, well, if there was, we would like to see the real tally of the votes. None of the Caribbean countries have said that, but the countries in South America have said these things. I mean, even Mexico had some concerns about the tally. So, Matt, all I can say, what I see coming is Mr. Maduro is probably going to be the first victim that falls when Trump comes into.
In a few days, in about 10 days.
I think there are contingency plans already. There was a report in the Trinidad newspaper saying that Trinidad had signed an agreement with the U.S. to allow the use of Trinidad territory for any military operations against Venezuela. So things are happening, Matt. There are things happening in this transition that's going on between Biden and Trump.
And you would not be surprised if they have interest in this electoral reform discussion that's taking place in Dominica as we speak, because the OAS has written to this government for sure.
Oh, they have written to the government?
The OAS, yes, he has not made the letter public, but basically there's pushback from the OAS. Mr. Skerritt is actually indicating that he did not like what he heard from the OAS, but that letter has not been made public.
I see. Well, you know, I believe that the Electoral Reform Coalition took that very progressive step. But Matt, you know, it's not without past history. The electoral reform forces have not. They have been strategic from 2019 to now. In fact, is there activities that forced the OAS to have a special meeting on Dominica back in 2019? So the entire Organization of American States, member states, they know of Dominica's electoral reform challenge, and they expect Dominica to do the right thing. So far, Dominica is not showing that it's prepared to do the right thing to have a framework for free and fair elections. And it is time that the administration in Roseau comes under the pressure of the international community. I heard the Prime Minister talking about, international organizations can't tell him what to do and all of that. He has a constitutional mandate as the head of government and having a majority in the parliament. That's fine, Mr. Skerritt, but Dominica has signed conventions at the international level which have equal importance to your constitution. Your constitution is linked to these international conventions, especially one on the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. So give the people their electoral reform without any interest from you. And let me say one more thing, Matt, on this electoral reform of Dominica. First of all, the Prime Minister has overstepped his authority under the Constitution as far as electoral reform. He has basically scuttled and bypassed the Electoral Commission, which is the creature of the Constitution, and is driving the truck as though he is the one to give electoral reform to the Dominican people. He's not. He is one of the candidates seeking political office. He happens to be in political office now. But that does not mean that electoral reform is his responsibility. He has only one responsibility as I'm concerned, and that is, as the Prime Minister and former Minister of Finance, he was to give the Electoral Commission their money and let them make the decision about elections. So he has overstepped his authority first. Then he appointed Mr. Byron as the sole commissioner. That was not his role. So I want the Dominican people to go back and begin to think about this charade of an electoral reform process that's going in Dominica. The international community is going to come down on Mr. Skerritt. And I'm very happy to hear that the OAS has written back to him. His tone of voice alone told me that he got some pressure from the OAS. And I'll tell you one thing. The Secretary General of the OS, Mr. Almagro, supported the Electoral Reform Coalition forces. And Mr. Skerritt was very mad at him and got the other CARICOM countries to say that Mr. Almagro, the Secretary General of the OAS, was interfering in Dominica's internal affairs. Well, all I have to say to Mr. Skerritt, successive observer missions pointed out so glaringly all of the missing dimensions in the Dominica's current electoral system. There are too many gaps, and then the Court of Caribbean Court of Justice again flagged the taint. So he better just do the right thing. That's all I have to say, Matt.
Because Washington will be watching him very closely.
Oh yes, and if I have some advice from Mr. Skerritt, I'd say pay attention to the Electoral Reform Coalition because they're not going to stop. They're going to keep the pressure on. They are talking to people in Washington, from what I gathered, and all of that is good. So let Mr. Skerritt face the wrath of the United States if he doesn't do the right thing.
All right. Again, you're not surprised that the U.S. is putting some pressure on Venezuela at this time, and the Venezuelan officials have increased to 25 million. The reward is offering for the arrest of President Nicolas Maduro on the very day of his inauguration. You're just not surprised. Before we go,
not surprised. Mr. Maduro better take warning. He'll have to make a deal with the U.S. either to resign for his so that his address doesn't change from Caracas to Washington in a jail. That's what is facing him now.
All right, Crispin Gregoire, well said as usual. We're monitoring the international community and word that the U.S. states on Friday today imposed sanctions on 8 Venezuelan officials and increased to 25 million. The reward is offering for the arrest of President Nicolas Maduro on the very day of the inauguration to a third term following a disputed election last year. This is how we start. On the Talk on the Block will continue. This is Q95. We're going to come back after this.
Exciting news from AutoTrade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of AutoTrade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, AutoTrade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, there's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by AutoTrade every last Thursday. At AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, Dominic, we'll take a few phone calls on this one. It's 1:36 in the afternoon. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good day.
I'm trying, my friend. I'm trying. Yes.
Matt, how can Mr. Skerritt say that we got this legal state and we're following the law and this and that and people shouldn't interfere? And there are people outside there who are aware that we do not have an opposition leader in place when the Constitution says that there shall be an opposition leader, and he come up with some kind of lame excuse in cahoots with the president, who we know he has influence over, and is not putting an opposition leader in place. In the mind of someone who is democratically inclined, that is a big red flag for you to remove. Well, let's put it in real words. The opposition leader resigned. But that doesn't matter. You must put one. The president has to put one. If she doesn't do it, big red flag. It's going to be waving in their face. How can you say you're a democracy and you're following your constitution when you don't have an opposition leader in parliament? Answer that question for me, Mr. Skerritt. Enough said, man.
We have to watch the government, the U.S. government, very closely as we get involved in this electoral reform measures has been brought to Parliament. Somebody says, Matt, we like the rest of the world know that the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt is cozying up with the corrupt close friend and ally of Maduro. Skerritt has spoken himself to be on the wrong side of democracy, justice, and good governance. A betrayal of free and fair elections and democratic principles. This Skerritt has imposed on Dominica electoral processes. The same Maduro has imposed on his people. The fraudulent leader who has tainted Dominica's elections cycle after cycle. Skerritt is the same leader who knows Bashar al-Assad is a sanctioned and wanted terrorist who used chemical weapons on his own people. Nonetheless, Roosevelt Skerritt went ahead and established ties with Syria under Bashar al-Assad's dictatorship. The Skerritt is unlearned and not capable of learning anything, no matter how long he remains at the helm of this country. Foolish pride is not power or authority. It's just a matter of time. So what's up, Master? Let's say you can take a few calls there. Hello, talk to me, yeah? Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Matt, with regards to the inauguration ceremony of Maduro, Maduro, you said that Roosevelt Skerritt is in Dominica as you speak, right?
Yes, that's from what I gather. But maybe they have a representative. I'm trying to find out who the representative is.
I'm going to tell you who is there, Matt. Matt, more reasons why Roosevelt Skerritt continue to use these kindergarten children. Innocent children, Matt. And Matt, these children, their family been warning them to get out of Roosevelt Skerritt's evil government. He chose to send Darren Lloyd, someone that don't know if they're going or coming. I mean, these guys don't know the danger that is. Matt, stay blessed. Later, Matt. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I can't confirm you said that you know that, but this caller is indicating that you may have sent a representative of the St. Joe constituency to represent him in Venezuela in the inauguration. Matt Crispin is so correct. Prime Minister Skerritt has overstepped his authority to hijack the electoral reform process. As we speak, the Prime Minister has violated Section 51 of the Dominican Constitution by failing to send the current electoral reform bills that are currently in the House to the Electoral Commission before it was submitted to Parliament, in keeping with the requirements of the Constitution. Violation of the constitutional laws of the land over and over again. I'm reading the full text there of somebody who texted me earlier. Today is the inauguration of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. It would be interesting to see who the representative of Dominica is at the event. It's widely believed that the opposition won the election in Venezuela. It was hotly disputed by the most independent observers. The government in Caracas has been increasingly dictatorial, authoritarian, and repressive in the last 5 years or more. The incoming Trump administration will be far more confrontational and hawkish towards the Maduro dictatorship in Caracas. Dominica has to be very careful that it is not seen as cozying up to Maduro, a man who is increasingly isolated internationally. The US, the UK, and the UA or the EU don't recognize the government in Caracas. Dominica has to be very careful that it is not on the wrong side of history on the issue of legitimacy of the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Of course, we know that the United States has to defend its economic interests in that part of the world. And so just wants to change the regime in Venezuela to bring about government that is more pro-Washington. Washington will be watching the electoral reform process in Dominica very closely. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Uh-huh.
Yes, Matt.
Yes.
I was just coming to that. Matt, I hope the people that is watching Maduro in Venezuela is watching Dominica and Roosevelt case. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, somebody's saying, what can the OAS do, really? Also, the USA has no moral authority to arrest anyone. That's his view. They have been complicit in the war crimes in Gaza. Who's arresting Biden and Kamala Harris for those atrocities? Somebody saying that should be a song bite by Mr. Gregor said as it relates to Skerrit overstepping his role with the election reform. Are you there, caller? Talk to me. Yes?
Yes, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
3 doctors I want them to hold. 3 doctors I want them to hold. Skerrit, Black Moth, and Joseph Isaac, the criminal. Joseph Isaac. These 3 men, after they hold them, I can die.
No, you ought to be careful how you refer to these guys, huh? Okay? The personal attacks is not necessary at this point. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Matt, to that caller talked about moral authority.
Yes.
Does Roosevelt Skerrit have any moral authority to do anything? You know, does Roosevelt Skerrit have any moral authority to run this country? If we had to go by morals, the fact that he's depriving us and from electoral reform would make him ineligible to be the prime minister if we were talking about morals. So this caller who is talking about morals, I think he should apply it to Roosevelt Skerrit, and let's see if Roosevelt Skerrit qualifies morally to run this country.
Not the way Maduro speaks to these world organizations is the same as Mr. Skerrit. So I can only imagine for Skerrit to be behaving so boldly. It must be Maduro's promises to him to invade Dominica whenever he feels it is necessary to cling onto power. And Mia Motley being the chairperson of CARICOM now, watch her stay quiet and play hypocrite. A lot of reactions at this time, huh? We have to watch closely that development there from the U.S. to Venezuela. Anybody leading with information leading to the arrest of Maduro has been promised over 15 million US dollars. Let's play a voice note, yes? Uh-huh.
Good afternoon, Matt. Skerrit knows the eyes are watching him, the eyes on the outside and inside and all over are watching him. He sent somebody else to represent him. He know they're going to take Maduro. So he don't know what to do, so he had to step back and send somebody else in the fire. One day, one day, one day. God bless, Matt.
God bless you too. It's 1:49. A few minutes before the 2 o'clock hour, before we change the subject, yeah? Let's do this one. Yes, coming back. Yeah. A lot of text messages at this time. Somebody says, Matt, I will definitely drink a whole bottle of the national drink. And Dominica's dictator is sent to jail. That's what somebody's wishing at this time. I don't think you meant that, right? Time will tell because every rope has an end. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Well, Matt, I don't take alcohol, but that day, Matt, I'm not saying dear.
All right. Matt, if it is true that the PM, the MP for St. Joe is Dominica's representative at the inauguration, that is very interesting. I would have expected either Skerrit or Vince to be in the inauguration. The fact that neither of them are at that event is a major diplomatic snub. Skerrit is sending a message to Maduro, or is Skerrit sending a message to Maduro? Or is Skerrit beginning to distance himself from Maduro? Greetings, the ERC. Have you sent a letter to the PM Motley as well in Barbados? Again, let's listen for the final time to Mr. Skerrit reaction to the letter he received from the OAS. I think it was earlier this week.
A group in Dominica wrote to some international organizations. They wrote to the Human Rights Council at the OAS, and we've responded to that. They were completely and absolutely, this organization was completely and absolutely out of place. And their requests to us were completely out of the provisions of the chapter. And we have responded to them. I intend to make a copy of your letter to us and our response to them made available to the public, so the public can assess their letter and assess our response to them. We have a constitution, we have laws in Dominica. Every international organization must understand that we are a law-abiding country and we are not subjected to international decrees. Yeah, we have a constitution, and the constitution makes provisions for the Parliament of Dominica to pass laws. I believe that the issues that people raised about the electoral processes of Dominica, we are confident that the bills and the contents of the bills will cure those issues. And so we will go to Parliament in the first quarter of 2025 to have those bills passed and to ensure that the Electoral Commission has the resources. So they have the legislation and they have the resources to effect the electoral reform process of Dominica and put an end to this long outstanding debate that has consumed way too much time of the citizens of Dominica and move forward with it. And this is what we're going to be doing. And I don't think anything will stop us in that.
Yesterday, we got this statement from the ERC.
In a press release dated January 9th, 2025, from the Electoral Reform Coalition, signed by Chairman of the Electoral Reform Coalition, Johnson Boston, reads, on Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, on the 21st anniversary of the ascension of the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit to office of the Prime Minister of Dominica, and with his continuation of total domination of control over DBS Radio, Minister Roosevelt Skerrit took objection to a group in Dominica writing to the Organization of American States, OAS, about the concerns of the electoral process in Dominica. Since the Prime Minister did not have the courage to name the said group, the Electoral Reform Coalition, ERC, will not respond to the specific comments of the Prime Minister until such time there is clarification that the ERC is the group in question. On December 16th, 2024, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, political leader of the Dominica Labour Party, parliamentary representative of the Vacas constituency, and Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, who has a 19-2 parliamentary majority in the Dominica House of Assembly, presented 3 electoral reform bills to Parliament for the first reading. The Prime Minister stated that at the second and third reading of the said bills, he will extend invitations to the OAS, CARICOM, OECS, the Commonwealth Secretariat, and the European Union to come to Parliament to witness Dominica's democracy in action. The Prime Minister proceeded to blatantly lie to the nation that the bills presented to Parliament took into consideration all of the recommendations from the opposition, civil society, and the Electoral Commission, and that the bills, when approved, will be the envy of other Caribbean countries. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit failed to inform the nation that he had deleted from the bills all the recommendations related to campaign financing made by Sir Dennis Byron, who he had paid $750,000 to review the said bills, and he has completely ignored other recommendations made by the ERC and other civil society organizations. Numerous requests from the ERC to meet or dialogue with the Prime Minister were ignored and did not attract a basic acknowledgement of receipt of correspondence. The recommendations from the Electoral Commission, which is the constitutional authority on electoral matters, has not been made public amidst numerous requests. Yet, in a desperate act of deception to mislead and misinformation of the population, the Prime Minister has promised to make the correspondence with the OAS public. The ERC is pleased to announce that letters have been dispatched to the international community, which includes the above mentioned organizations, in addition to the United States State Department, the United Nations, and the Foreign Office of the United Kingdom, to inform them of the electoral reform situation in the Commonwealth of Dominica. A copy of the said letter is attached. The Electoral Reform Coalition, ERC, reiterates its position that any electoral reform bill that does not adequately address the vexing issues of campaign financing, voter registration, cleansing of the electors list, voter identification cards, and residency qualification for voters, among other relevant concerns, will be considered unacceptable and will further intensify the campaign for genuine and equitable electoral reform. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is advised to be guided accordingly with his useless threats of intimidation. This statement was released, published, and written by the executive of the Electoral Reform Coalition, dated January 9th, 2025.
It's 2 minutes before the hour of 2 o'clock. We're going to switch conversations in a minute. Are you there, caller? Yes? Yes, ma.
And I go enough. I want you to, I have 12 wise men, but I telling you, give Honorable Joshua Francis, Dr. Pastor Rodney, and Alvin Thomas, and one more, but I forgot the one more. Tell them what they think of that. And Simeon, Sir Simeon Joseph, it's 4 wise men. Ask them what they think about the Prime Minister, what Loftus Reed, and about Bosso. I want to hear these wise men. It's 12 of them I have. I give you 4 still.
Okay.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you, man. God bless you. Somebody's reminded me that since 2005, Dominica has received in cash or kind over $1 billion from Skerrit, or from Venezuela, sorry. So Skerrit is in a difficult position. He does not want to be abandoned or to abandon his friend. I guess sometime later we'll hear from Mr. Skerrit as it responding to news that the U.S. has now offered a $15 million package for anybody with information to the leading to the arrest of Mr. Maduro. We'll follow this one very closely. Well, I'm sure we'll hear some reaction, although he has been warned not to comment. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Good afternoon. How are you doing, man? You having a good day?
How you doing, my brother? How you doing, yes?
Not bad at all. No. Well, I'm just calling to congratulate whosoever responsible for that Chinese administration there, that black Chinese government administration there. They have been passing through my community with the water trucks now. They have adhered to the messages, and I thank Q95, Matt, and Mr. G for allowing those people to get the message. So they're actually passing through now and wetting the community and keeping down the dust, and that is very good. I congratulating them for that. But they must continue on a regular basis, or else we will stop the project. Have a blessed day. We need electoral reform in Dominica as quick as possible.
All right, thank you. Yes, I think they may have gotten the message that a lot of people will complain about the dust situation in Marigot. We're going to one situation we were addressing this morning as it relates to information receiving or the truckers may have received, unconfirmed, but they're standing waiting to be charged for a protest action they took some time ago. Let's listen to this specific trucker. Let's listen again.
Matt, morning. That's one of the truckers speaking, you know. Matt, I understood that the making preparation to arrest like 30 to 45 truckers that did the when we stand up for our rights at Kenfield the demonstration. And what we are saying, we're not saying no that we can't get arrested. Yes, we get arrested, but we don't know for what, because people have stood up for their rights in that country. That's why the government know when you do those things and you get arrested, the people who did that, they making these other people who want to stand up for their rights and who want to have to demonstrate for their rights, getting them scared. So that when they do those things, they just feel that they will get arrested. So that will prevent them from doing to stand up for their rights. You know, violating the people's rights. So that's what they just do. That's what the government doing. So when they get arrested, then the other people will get scared of get doing their demonstration or their peacefully strike or their peacefully whatever, like how we did. Now what we're saying is that man, we cannot have a big project like CBI or passport money funding the airport, and you don't want to employ workers, truckers there, operators there, machinery equipment there, and then you don't want to employ your locals and do it. That's not good. Okay, we stand up for our rights because we couldn't take it anymore. Enough is enough. Now, we're not saying no, we can't get arrested, but if we get when we get arrested, or if we get arrested, or it never happen, because we getting it from good grounds, Matt, we the truckers will tired have to get arrested because we will not take it lightly. We will not take it easy, Matt. It's telling us we will not take it easy. And the second to it now, watch our project at the cable cut at Luda. The McIntyre came out and said, you must have the clip, Matt. McIntyre came out and said, you have a lot of locals working there, and and then their pay is so good, and even boosting their pay. And I mean, yes, that's what we want to hear. And those, but watch, you have a project that 10 times bigger than the cable cut project, and you fail to employ your locals to benefit to earn something, Matt. So that's what, but we already know the truckers, we stand up for our rights, for us to get, although it's not really what we wanted, but we're working around it, we're working with it. Okay? So we're not threatening nobody, we're not sending out no message, but when, if a chance that do happen and they have that in the pipeline, we're letting them know we will not take it easy. And it will not take it easy, and they'll just start to arrest. They'll just start to arrest us. They start to arrest us. Because Matt, the Prime Minister said that the truckers was peacefully, the truckers was peacefully and is their right to demonstrate. And we had a peaceful demonstration. I mean, certain people go out on hand, you understand? You respect those things. Certain people go out on hand, but the truckers was very peacefully. And the commissioner and them, they said that. So we want to know what is the reason now they want to be talking about arresting. For what? Well, if we do have more, so when there is others, tell us what.
All right, Dominica.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, the truckers are standing by here, according to this trucker, to be arrested for protest action that they took some months ago um, for their rights. They were looking for work to transport cement to the international airport. This morning we were also talking about the garbage problem in Dominica, and as to whether maybe the authorities are not aware or not, they don't know how to deal with the problems. I suggested this morning that we should use the Chinese trucks. There's some pushback to that. People are saying we should use the local trucks. But we need to find a solution. Because the country is in a mess as it relates to rubbish out there. Please suggest how we can deal with this rubbish problem, which is an eyesore all around the country. Please. I would say that we just can't. We always make accuse the government of this and that and that. No, we're looking for solutions. Somebody call and please present a few if the authorities are not aware as to what to do. Are you there, caller? Talk to me. I nurse, tell me.
What do you want me to tell you?
How do they fix the problem with rubbish?
Why is Kerry is the Prime Minister of Dominica? Is that his work now? But I hear his story in that country with that is Kerry and his government ministers. They get $4,000 on his salary, 3,000 on his wife, and 3,000 on everybody else. Not one single someone gets $1. And I must tell you how to fix Dominica. Hell no.
Nurse, but you would agree that we have rubbish all over the place. We need to fix the problem.
By me clear up a little, but could be better. But that is not my problem. That let's get it fixed it here and the ministers. I don't say that. Or you taking the job, touching it too much.
All right.
But I want my money from Wesley. I want my money for my house and landmark. But I'm very angry with that government.
Okay.
You cannot take people saying not paying their match. What do you take it for? Mark, have a nice day. Stop doing your job, you're so wicked!
Oh boy. I can sense that frustration there. Somebody's saying, Matt, folks cannot be afraid of getting arrested. More people that get arrested, it's nothing the state can do. Let them arrest 5,000 people for standing up for their right. It will reveal the true colors of the leadership of the country. This text message is suggesting that more people should be arrested. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Hello? No, nobody there. Somebody's saying, Matt, you can be peaceful, but you cannot block the road. Derelict vehicles is also bad as well. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Mr. Mills, the crime is under the mat. 2:11 is the afternoon time. At the Kenfield area, especially 12th Street, it smells. When I tell you smell, somebody sent me a clip of my days there at Mapping Television with Eugenia Charles. And reminds me those were the days when we had leaders of class, not what we're having today, having scared, having a comedian show every time questions are put to him. That was Miss Charles in those days. Miss Charles. Let's remind you.
Hurricane David. And so it was a difficult time, and you had to fight. And you had to fight with donors to get the things you required for your country because you didn't have all the money yourself to do.
If we can ask you a few political questions now. In the 70s, while sitting on the opposition benches, you got a lot of flack, a lot of insults from people like Vic Revere, Patrick John. Have you been able to forgive them?
Oh yes, I did. I never held any grudge against them. I knew they were being stupid. I knew it was the ignorance that was making them behave that way. And I didn't sit silently by. I gave as good as I got. I was able to respond, and I suppose that prevented me from having any build-up of dislike in me.
But did all political parties get involved in campaigning to try to win?
No. I'm talking about campaigning, and I'm talking about giving people at the time, having starved them for 5 years, giving them gifts to make them better off.
You've never done it yourself, Mr. Charles. But
when I go to house to house, I wouldn't even carry money with me.
What do you mean by giving gifts? Because I mean, if when the election is coming is when a lot of programs are put on track. In a way,
no, I don't mean that. I mean, obviously, the programs that they wanted to do, and if they found the money at the end of the term, there's no reason why they shouldn't do it. And it's the benefit of Dominica. No, I don't mean that.
So are you talking about setting people up?
Giving people money to make sure that they vote for them.
But do you have evidence of that?
I don't have evidence of that now, because the time hasn't come. I'll be watching for it. I'll be going house to house and finding out who's getting what.
You're saying that the Freedom Party was never involved in this?
No, I don't know. I think it's wrong. I think it takes away from the whole idea of democracy. People are supposed to elect the leaders to carry out policies which they've asked the leaders to put in place, or which leaders have pointed out require putting in place for them. One of the reasons I particularly wanted Brian Allen in at that time as Attorney General was because I knew that no matter what happened, we could not win an election with a list that had been compiled by the Labour Party. I knew that much. And I was able to talk to the leaders in the other islands with whom I had made good friends, even though I was only in opposition. And I was insisting that we must have people who can bring in the Barbadians to help us to set up a proper election system.
You're all over the place giving talks, talking about Dominica and so on, and various other issues, but a lot about Dominica. Do you think that any of these activities undermine the work that the present government is trying to do?
No, because I imagine they're trying to build up Dominica, and what I'm trying to do in the talk now is to make Dominica get the things it needs. So I think that they should be glad that I am able to talk on behalf of Dominica for the benefit of Dominica.
But would you say it's a conflict of interest that you don't? It is a conflict of interest that you don't like the government yet?
I don't like the government, but Dominica doesn't belong to them. Dominica belongs to all of us.
The point is,
we have to do everything we can, each of us, to make sure Dominica is a better place to go.
Don't you think that perhaps the stadium in the long run could have made a lot of money for Dominica?
No. Because for you to make a lot of money, you have to have the ability to bring in people.
Don't they think
you still haven't got the ability to bring in people?
What's your take today on the kind of salary increases being offered by the present administration? They seem to be pretty low.
Well, I don't think they have the money to offer higher, quite frankly. But I think it's a little difficult when they say they can't pay more than 2% is it civil servants, that they should think of increasing their salaries at the time. I think that is where I take issue with them. That if you haven't got the money, you haven't got the money for yourself either.
What about legislation, for example, at the moment, the sexual offences?
All right, Dominica, that's an old interview, maybe somewhere in 1997, when I was a co-host of Under Fire on Mapping Television. Those were my television days with Thalia Remy and Ken Richard. So I've been around. 2:17 is the afternoon time. Somebody's reminding me that that's when Dominica had leaders of class, not what we're having today. Let's do this and come back. The morning draw of the Dominica Lottery. Stick around.
Presenting the winning numbers for Dominica National Lottery's morning draw of Friday, 10th January 2025. The daily 3 morning draw winning numbers are 9, 0, and 5. The multi-X ball chosen was 2X and there were 35 winners. The big 4 with multi-X morning draw winning numbers are 4, 9, 7, and 3. The multi-X ball selected was FP and the total payout is $800. The pick 2 morning draw winning numbers are 5 and 6. The multi-X ball selected is FP. The next morning draw is on Saturday, 11th January 2025. Dominica National Lottery. Everything is possible.
Exciting news from AutoTrade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of AutoTrade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, AutoTrade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, there's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by AutoTrade every last Thursday. At AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
Interesting. I'm getting a lot of phone calls as well as it relates to monies promised to port workers. This $4 million. Everybody's calling. I don't know anything about it, but please, those who have the information, pass on the information because these workers are getting very frustrated. The Prime Minister has promised paid the $4 million, but those in charge of distributing the monies may be having some issues. I'm hoping that one of you out there call because the port workers are very, very frustrated. They have not been paid, and today is the 10th of January 2025. So please, I was trying to get my friend Walix, who seems to have been in one of the spokesperson in that negotiations. And Mr. Walix, if you can call me, please do, because there's a lot of frustration out there. Let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, madam. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
But this garbage problem, man. I mean, you're asking for solutions, man. But, man, solid waste has a responsibility to pick up the garbage, you know, man. The people put the garbage on the roadside, especially in my area, Geneva Holding Scheme, man. Till before Christmas, they pick up garbage. Today is 17 days. They have not picked up the garbage, and they are supposed to pick up garbage twice a week. But it continues piling up. So even if people have to tell them that they have to find ways and means to get it out, man. They don't know that if their trucks are done.
Well, it appears that they don't know. It appears they don't know. But somebody out there may have a solution to the problem. Everybody has been, suggesting alternatives. What do we do? Because we are facing a health crisis, with that rubbish.
Well, that's right, Matt. But Matt, right in my area, Matt, the amount of flies, rats, cockroaches, the animals like the fowls and dogs and so on. I mean, it's just a whole mess, Matt. I mean, come on, man. They have a responsibility. They have to live up to their responsibility. That is totally unacceptable, man. Come on, man.
Totally unacceptable. I get your point. So, my friend Wadix, give me a call, huh? Give me a call privately so I can call you back. A lot of port workers are asking about monies that has been paid. I think you guys may have been owed some $38 million. It was brought down to $4 million. And these monies have not been distributed. So please, I can't do anything from where I sit. You may have more information than I do, sir. Somebody saying everything Scary says must be taken with a spoon of salt. Well, you saw him giving the check, so you can't say his fault at this time. He gave the check to a representative of the port workers. So I'm just saying, do you still want to blame the prime minister? Now, did you hear the prime Mamo saying if you don't have money to give your civil servants a raise, then you can't raise yours? That was Mamo in her days. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Matt, how much money they was owing the pot workers?
$38 million.
And how much they have to pay them now?
They're giving them $4 million now. $4 million.
Remember, the Dominic Sotri, in which country a government could be owing somebody all that money and for them to give them that little bit? It really didn't make Dominic.
All right, thank you. Well, they have waited years, so I guess they didn't have a choice on the matter. Somebody's asking me from 38 million to 4. Are these guys serious? Well, you'll admit, though, it's better than nothing, right? Somebody's asking, well, he paid a check. I can't say whether the check has been changed. Well, from my information, the check has been changed. They're looking at trying to share this money in the best way. That's my information, huh? That's all I can say. Hello, talk to me, yes? Good afternoon to you. Talk to me, yes?
Good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon to
I
you.
heard about it is a bounce check.
Is a bounce check? I don't know if it's a bounce check. I spoke to port officials who say that the money is there, but they're having some problems distributing it equally, if you know what I mean. Some persons have to get more than others who came in late or started working after this time. I'm trying to get the formula, but there's been some problem in distributing the monies equally. So Wadix, being the port spokesperson, is the best person that can give you that information. But from sources, they have received the check, the money is in the bank. But the port workers who have their own medical conditions at this time are very, very frustrated. Somebody's indicating the treasury is broke and Scared is buying time. Again, my information suggests that the money is already in the bank. And you see, more sources are indicating that some port workers are claiming more and then they actually owed. So there's some dispute going on there with the port workers. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. 228. I think I need to play some calypsos at this time. Too much frustration. Are you there?
Matt,
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Roosevelt Skerrit is not doing nothing inside there. Why won't he surrender, put up his hands and go out? Fuck you. He's not nothing the man doing there. That lazy man.
Somebody's saying, Matt, you must blame the prime minister. If he owes you 38 million and he agrees to pay 4 million, how are they going to distribute by 4 million or get them to 4 million among port workers? By the time they start it finish and they prorate it, everyone gets peanuts. And that's in a booming economy. Imagine if the economy was doing badly. Why think somebody suggesting that you should just go and hide? Conflict of interest? How are you going to negotiate hard if they make you an ambassador? I will talk to Wadix about it because he was one of the spokespersons on the negotiating team. I'm trying to get him, but I've not been able to just yet. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yeah?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Well, Matt, what you need to do your own investigation. Find out what they owe the people the money from, what they owe the workers the money for, who have the money, where's the money coming from. And this is what you need to find out. The journalists to do their work. Find out who happened to compose that money for the workers. There's supposed to be some benefits and retirement benefits.
Well, all I said to you, they were owing them between 34 and 38 million. As to how they negotiated downwards, that is for somebody else to know. That's what I'm trying to find out from Walix at this point, and I have not been able to touch base with him, but I can only get answers from people who may know better.
Hear me out now. As far as I understand, it's over $80 million, and how come they owe the people the money and they're sending that stuff to go to the bank to take a loan for $4 million when the money not coming from the government, the money coming from outside from another source. From the shipping.
Well, I'm hearing that the port may have resorted to taking a loan because the money that they owe is not directly available, so they had to take a loan, and the port is responsible for paying back that loan. That is how I got it. Okay.
You know the truth. The truth is that nothing, my friend, but that the money not coming from the government or from port. The money comes from a first source, and they're supposed to have this money, and our company making increase.
Well, if Marcelino is present, ask him to give me a call because this is all confused information. Okay. How is it that the government is broke, yet the prime minister and cabinet had no problem giving themselves a raise? As I said, I'm telling you as I have it from port workers who said people close to the source of the money says the money is here or is there, but they're having some problems distributing it in the base because people are so now saying that they are owed more and this one and that one. So somebody has to come out and share the information, okay? Somebody's saying, Matt, you should stop fighting the battles of these individuals who do not care about themselves. When they get paid, you will know. Well, I'm of course speaking out because some people are going through some medical issues right now and they need their money. He's now taking off all the savings that they have in the bank. And that money would give them some help there. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? How are you, sir? How are you?
There is a concern to me. I don't know what you're talking
What's the
about.
concern?
Earlier on, you played a clip with Roosevelt Skerrit talking about the road to the OAS. and these things. And I'm saying,
He wrote to the OAS in response to what the OAS wrote to him, but we have not seen that letter from the OAS, and we have not seen that letter to from Roosevelt Skerritt.
right, but hear me out. Here's the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, he said he will make his response available
Right.
to the public. But what I'm saying,
He'll also make the OAS letter to him public as well.
well, he need to make that letter public as well to show transparency.
I'm sure he will in due time because, of course, he has made that promise. Let's see. Let's give him a few days. I don't want to jump the gun right now. Let's give him a few days to make that letter available. So your comment may be a little premature this time. 234. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes? Yes? Call, are you there? Hello? Hello, talk to me. Yes?
That's not only look money, neither the government. But the fact is they're receiving money on behalf of these people, and they're supposed to have these people money in an account. Why is that going to the bank to get a loan to pay these people their money? Who is the money? Who's responsible for that money? Is it fair? The money disappear? We have a kleptomaniac in power in Dominica. And
Well,
the kakistocrat at it. Dominica is the only kakistocracy in the world. And we have that man there saying the man should be in jail by now for all this stuff that's going on.
Again, I need to understand directly the point that you're making. I'm trying to get answers for you, my brother. I'm trying to get answers because you're saying the money came from another source. The diaspora should not be responsible for paying any loan taken from the bank of $4 million because somebody stole the money. Who stole the money? All of these questions can be asked, but I need to find out again from my friend, Mr. Wallix, ambassador, cultural ambassador, who's a spokesperson. And maybe, wait, Marcelino, maybe you can tell us something. So give us a call. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes, I'm there, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Matt, if they're owing them $38,000,
$38 million. Million.
$48 million, and they give them $4 million, they can't share it. There's no way they can share it. One person I can see that can share it for them is Skerritt itself. Come on, get your head in. Share it for them, boys. You're all sharing it. Skerritt is a wicked man. He has $64,000 in his house, and people in Dominica crying like that. Let them put workers get their problem and just let them fire themselves. Good.
All right, thank you very much. Well. Somebody says, how can you be owed money and you negotiate for a lower amount? It's not like a contract where it's 34 or 38 million and negotiate for an advance of 4 million, you know. That looks like a big joke. Well, I can tell you the port workers have been asking for that money for many, many years. Finally, renegotiations, it was brought down to $4 million. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Okay, Matt, it is brought down to $4 million. You, in your heart of hearts, would you be able to share that 4 million in compared to 38 million?
You can, but you have to give every worker less. That's what the point is, yes.
Matt, again, who delivered the check?
The Prime Minister delivered the check.
And why are you asking for Wadi?
No, I'm saying Walix was part of the negotiations. He was one who received the check as well.
I know, I saw it.
Exactly.
But he doesn't know about check right now.
He doesn't know about, but it was delivered to the port, so he might know something about it.
Okay.
All right, caller, thank you. It's 2:38. So again, Walix, if you know something about it, give me a call, okay? Thank you very much, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's Angus.
Hey, how you doing?
From the phone on the road in Kingsville.
In where?
It was on the road in Kenfield,
Okay.
but it's smashed up. But the person now trying to call it. I have it in my position.
Okay.
So, but I can't answer because I don't see nothing. I can't see
What area in Kinfield? What area in Kinfield?
Just by the National Bank.
Okay, so if you lost a phone in the National Bank,
Tell them check Angus. Give them my number.
yes. All right.
Give them my number 235
Mm-hmm.
3093.
3093 or 94.
Yes.
Okay, so
235 3093.
Thank you. So if you lost a phone in that area, please, next to the National Bank, please feel free to call Angus 235-3093, okay? It's 2:39. We have just about 21 minutes remaining. Talk to me, yes?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Matt, and to your listeners. Matt, I have two quick questions, quick ones. First of all, did this issue with the monies owed to port workers start under the Labour Party regime that presently exists? Or was it something from before the Labour Party came into power? And just look at the length of time that it has taken for them to get to this point, where they are now making such a ridiculous offer. The only reason that I would think they owe so much money, $34 to $38 million, that would have to be, in my humble view, as a result of the time taken in order to resolve the issue. With interest, I am assuming the amounts owed initially would increase to what is presently being said is owed as a result of the interest incurred. And so that would show massive incompetence on the part of the government to not have resolved this issue long before, so as to not have the debt rise to the present levels. The second thing is, our people are not holding this government to account and not questioning it for the actions and decisions taken. One of the decisions that really concerns me, and I think should concern everybody else, is this suggestion that these persons with preferential arrangements with the government, these big companies like Gadakan and MMCE and so on, that they are using their money and front loading the projects that they are involved in. And this idea of front loading your own money, if that is in fact what's happening, we are not being told at what interest rate they are going to be repaid that money. Because if I use my own money to do a project for you, the government of Dominica, the longer it takes for you to repay me, the more money you're going to have to pay me at the end of the day, because again of the interests involved. So we need to find out, for all these projects that Jagarakan and MMC and others are doing in Dominica, supposedly using their own money, what is the interest rate at which we're repaying them, and over what period of time? That's something that has to be a concern for the people of Dominica, and must be raised as an issue.
Somebody's saying, Matt, the Prime Minister is a wicked fella. 38 million owed in the past. So in modern day dollars, that should be 50 million. All kind of inflation, opportunity cost, loss of interest, etc. And instead of going up, you're 9.5 times less, almost 10 times less, and you celebrate an economy that is doing well, you must be working against the interests of the port workers and in breath, the same breath, increasing your salary by 30%. Somebody saying you are a wicked soul. It also doesn't matter whether this incurred under the Labour Party government or not. You have a buoyant economy and you're not paying your debts. Landowners at Wesley owed, port workers owed, retailers owed, everybody's owed. The country broke. Are we gonna come back, Dominica, after this? After this? After this? After this?
Somebody who creole, baby, creole. Mouvement créole assure. Tout le monde créole pour attention. Comité pour études créole Dominique. Et puis Radio QFM qui présenté. Mouvement créole. Tous les mardis soirs, 6 après-midi. Information, blagues, interviews, l'histoire, problème, discussion, reportage, apprendre parler et puis écrit créole. Lien avec ton peuple créole. Bon musique créole. Mouvement créole. Nous fait un rendez-vous, messieurs, mesdames. Tous les mardis soirs, QFM qui est frappé avec bon parole créole. Sans ça participer, qui est nous rapidement Mouvement créole à ce grand station QFM. Voici avec nous tous les mardis soirs 6h pour Mouvement créole. Matchez ça. Exciting news from AutoTrade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of AutoTrade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, AutoTrade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, here's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive deal of the day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by AutoTrade every last Thursday. At AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
So that issue started from what I gathered there. I was just talking to a port worker from 2001. I was certainly a better understanding. But again, I tried to get in Wadix, but he's not available at
Matt,
this
good
time.
afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, in Blackboard I go to school, but something doesn't add up in that scenario.
The math not
Because I
mathing.
spoke to a port worker about 2 weeks ago who told me what he was supposed to be getting, and under that 4 million that they're giving now, what he is expected to be getting, and it didn't add up because everywhere you that owing you or you owing, if you owe in inland revenue and you pay late, there's a late fee of more money. Anywhere you owe in and you pay late is more money. And then in that scenario, you owe in for so many years and now you're paying less money. So tell me why is less money in that scenario and everything else? You owe in inland revenue, you pay late, more money. You go in social security, there's a late fee penalty of more money. Everywhere is more money when you take time to pay. And in that situation is less money. Who sat down and negotiated that kind of voodoo economics? That is zombie economics. That is that demonic kind of economic. That's how the person that sat down to do that, that person has to be in the pocket of the demon, because that doesn't make sense to me. Everywhere else you owe and you pay more money. If somebody owes me a certain amount of money for a particular time and I tell them, look, if you take X amount of time to pay me, every week is 5%, every month is 5% on it, then that person going to try to pay me faster because they don't want to be paying that additional 5% of more money for me. So how does it that in that scenario it becomes less money from 30 something million to 4 million? My brother, I don't know what's wrong with our people, but we need to get off our backsides. I can't tell the people what to do, but I think that bewitching and that zombie business and that demon has gone too far. Have a good day.
The map not mapping. The situation serious while they have some people sit down laughing. Before a dollar could have buy a massive, now a dollar can't buy nothing. And anytime a youth man hit the street, then it's red water he dashing. And granny can't buy dashing, much less for walking. The map not mapping. The map not
All the problems start under this Labour Party. everything that happened to port workers start under the Labour Party. Under the Labour Party with Roosevelt, Skerritt, the volley.
Hey, watch your word, my brother. Watch your word. I apologize on your behalf.
You wouldn't be there for a fraction of the time. It's like your purpose is to make people divide while the problems multiply. It's no wonder why the maps not mapping. The maps not mapping.
Hello, yes? Mm-hmm. Hello? Hello.
On the rise, like some leaders close their eyes and they're flashing. They're fighting for material things while some people out there starving. Poverty on the rise while they're feeding us with lies is a mad thing. But they don't really care once they cash in from the money market. The map not mapping. The map not mapping. Yeah, I wish I could put two and two together.
Somebody saying, Matt, has this regime ever accounted for the millions in debt owed to Venezuela, which they forgave at the UN after Maria?
Of religion and law, so we pray every day to keep the evil away. Until the evil day, your taxes are to pay. I thought they say it up for power in the people. Well, I guess it's not that simple when the maps are mapping. The maps not mapping.
I'm hoping to get a further explanation from the port workers sometime soon. I think the deadline has been given there to receive payment by the 15th of January. Let's take another big one there from the signal band before we go. It's 5 to the hour of 3 o'clock. I'll be back on your radio tomorrow morning.
Martin Boyd coming back. Stop that! What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? Martin Boyd coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Yo! In January it was zero. Right before this season, the BS went and paid a visit to the prison.
Somebody saying, Matt, the distribution shouldn't be equally because some workers are, of course, spend more time than others. Distribution should be based on the amount paid into the account over years by port workers. Where are the records? Where are the records? There's incompetence everywhere.
What's going on here? Martin Boyd coming back. Coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Check out the coming back. Martin Boyd coming back. Yeah, in February it was zero.
And Matt, if you look at the modus operandi of this government and the lackadaisical attitude towards spending money, the people's money in places where it should not be spent, and just the general way in which they manage the people's money, do we really expect it to get any better than this? Do the port workers really expect to get paid, my friend? Do they really expect that? I don't see it happening. And while the port workers struggle and argue and go nowhere with what is owed to them, 180 something thousand can be used to buy a vehicle just to drive these children to school, and almost $750,000 can be used to get consultation from a man on electoral reform when you really do not have any intention of giving the people any meaningful electoral reform in the first place, yet you lackadaisically just sign an agreement with a man to do a proper job for you when you know that you're going to throw his suggestions in the bin And it's happening over and over and over and over again in all sorts of different ways. Money is just being wasted, and then money that matters, that belongs to the people, is outside of the country where it should not be. We really expect it to get better? Come on now.
What's going on here? The 10th of January 2025 of Friday. The weekend is here.
In February it was slow. Something always happening. Some people think every village have a opening. Big up Posty, Maho, Grande, and St. Joe. Honestly, I find it hard to pick up Bozo. Sticks up, that have to stop. You see how the competitions have to flop. Ask the organizers and ask the SD. How long the winners have to wait.
Don't forget the eliminations tomorrow.
Going on here? Going on here? What's going on here?
To be carried live by this radio station Q95.
Check down the comment box. Check the comment box. In March it was lent. No for your jam. Well, boss in China.
Flo is next.
Labor take a day and call it do something. Workers take a day and call it do nothing. And to the culprit that erase dicey painting. Why you do that? You don't like us, Lisha or Nisha that working for Shakira. Not as it dies. That wasn't dies. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? In the comment box. In the comment box. Check in the comment box. In the comment box. Check down the comment box. In the comment box. Check in the comment box. Yeah. A Yankee tried to diss Dominica on YouTube. Looking for clout. Yankee on you download. Rat and mash up with the bros. And they come to an agreement outside the court. Beat up on Facebook in April was 53. R.I.P. Elias. R.I.P. President. Fuel prices to the roof. And we still raising funds for the capital roof. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? In the comment box. In the comment box. In the comment box. Check in the comment box. In the comment box. Check down the comment box. In the comment box. Check in the comment box. My God, they repent the treachery. People say they want to erase our history. My God, the airport contract. West the people want in the house that took crack. Plus the people say they're ground shaking. It's maybe the marina and the ground breaking. What about the crabs and the frogs in camping? More people gone, rest in peace, Fritzy.
As we get ready for, of course, the elimination tomorrow. Here's one you can expect tomorrow there from the Energizer before we tune into Flo Dominica. Bowie, good afternoon to you. Hope they take care of your rubbish situation down there in Bowie, yeah? Mr. Ned, Councilor Ned, good afternoon to you.
Upside down, get me inside out. Dominica upside down, she upside down, get me inside out. I said we need a change. Government, yes, my people, we need a change. Corrupt government, yes, my people, we upside down. Yes, you upside down, yes, we inside out. Dominica upside down, yes, you upside down, yes, we inside out. I said we need a change. From this corrupt government, yes, my people, we need a change. From the corrupt government, yes, my people, we upside down. Yes,
Yes, she upside down. Yes, we inside out. Dominica upside down. Yes, she upside down. Yes, we inside out. Karma is a bitch, yes. What goes around comes around. The people you have been helping, sincerely, they will stab you in your back like Judas. Yeah, she upside down. She upside down. Yes, we inside out. Don't Monica upside down. Yes, upside down. Yes, we inside out. I just like to report PM. Tell us how much money you spend, PM. From the TBI program, PM. We Dominicans get you hell, PM. You are incompetent, PM.
I just contacted Walix. He has agreed to talk to me about the situation there on Monday. So stay tuned to the hot seat. We're looking for the answers. Stick around. Time for Flow.
Or on your street, don't be shy. Stop by and let our professional team serve you. The new Flow Store on Wheels, convenience and reliability at your doorstep. Coming soon to a location near you.
You an easy way to pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering Fast Pay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? Fast Pay will send it to your email immediately. Use Fast Pay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Then you're on your way.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
Flow is going green. As Flow continues to enhance its services and communication with you, the company announces a transition from paper to electronic bills from October 1st, 2024. With Flow e-bills, customers will receive billing information securely and conveniently without any interruptions. From October 1st, enjoy faster and efficient delivery. No more waiting for postal delivery. 24/7 access. Access your bill online anytime. Maintaining an eco-friendly environment. Reduce paper clutter. Convenient payment options. Pay via MyFlow app directly from the link in the email. Flow customers who are new to e-billing should provide or update their personal contact information with a valid email address. To ensure your personal contact information is up to date, visit any Flow store. Contact customer care at any time. Toll free at 1-800-804-2994 or visit discoverflow.co. Flow is keeping you connected.
When I reach any party, everybody don't know. Oh, oh, oh. If you think I'm crazy, it's the music that got me so. Oh, oh. We're my party people. Throw your hands in the sky. I. Come, my friends, I need you. It's time to raise the vibe. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Flow is love. Yeah. Hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Grab somebody and tell them hello. Happiness where we connect to flow. Smile and cheer because it's we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello.
We got about 5 minutes outside the hour of 3. Good afternoon, Dominica. And welcome to another edition of the Flow Hour right here live on the Caribbean FM and Q95. How are you guys doing today? This is how we flow. Hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. Hands in the air, this is how we flow. Flow is love, yeah. Hands in the air, hands in the air. Once you hear this, you know what time it is. It's all about flow today. It's a Flowtastic Friday. I just want to touch base with the Flow team. I want to big up to the colleagues. The Flow store on wheels. Big up yourself. Good afternoon to you. Emma. That's the vibe right here. Our marketing executive. Good afternoon to you, Francine. Of course, over GM. Miss Jamata, how you doing today? Good afternoon to you. Greetings. This is how we flow. Miss Platinum, good afternoon to you. This is how we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. That's where we connect to flow. Smile and cheer because it's we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. If you're celebrating your birthday today, I want to say happy birthday to you. Cut the cake and celebrate more life and more blessings upon you. Wishing you all the best on your special day. And of course, many, many more birthdays to come. Do have a good one today.
Hello, welcome to Flow.
I see you. Excuse me, baby, come a while. I need that wine and look up to start. Like gal, but did you catch me eye? You would do what must be your 9 to 5. You think you can hold me? Try me, come try me. If you feel it's jolting, how about it up? Hey, I want you to back it up. Yeah, let me see you work up the behind. I want you to back it up. I said back it up. What? Let me see you back it up. All the talk you have, you look like a rap. Let me see you back it up. I said back it up. Hey.
Of course I can back it up. Yes. Of course I can back it up. Make you ram it up when I act it up. Say back it up.
Back it up.
You want me to back it up?
Yes.
Baby, I can back it up.
What?
Baby, I can back it up.
You think you can hold me? Try me, come try me. If you feel it's jolting, baby, I'll back it up. You think you can hold me? Try me, come try me. If you feel it's jolting, baby, I'll back it up.
Think I just give you a wine, cause every day I be deep on your mind. Why that wine, they go mash up your life. And I not on no market, I don't want be no wine.
You think you can hold me? Try me, come try me. If you feel it's jolting, baby, I'll back it up. Hey, I want you to back it up. Let me see you back it up the behind. I want you to back it up. I said back it up. What? Let me see you back it up. All the talk you have, reverse like a rap. Let me see you back it up. I said back it up. Hey.
Of course I can back it up.
Yes.
Of course I can back it up. Make you ram it up when I act it up. You say back it up.
Back it up.
You want me to back it up?
Yes.
Baby, I can back it up.
What?
Baby, I can back it up.
You think you can.
And if you're celebrating your birthday today, I want to say happy birthday to you. Cut the cake and celebrate more life and more blessings upon you. Wishing you all the best on your special day. And of course, many, many more birthdays to come. Have a good one today.
Try me, Come try me. If you feel it's your thing,
Anything you can hold me. Try me. Come try me. If you feel it's your thing, baby.
I hope you find someone else. Hey, I hope you find someone else. I hope to love you like I do. I hope to love you too. Oh, to love you like I do. Wow. I tell you all what I get in is mépris. Oui, bon Dieu, papa's love. Oui, bon Dieu, papa's love. I tell you all what I get in is mépris. Oui, bon Dieu, papa's love. Oui, bon Dieu, papa's love. What? Every day is stress. Yeah.
Want to make sure you guys sign up today.
Wow, every day is stress.
Switch today. It's all about the most reliable network for sure. Victoria, good afternoon to you. How you doing?
Oh, I hope you find someone else. Oh, to love you like I do. I hope so. Oh, to love you like I do. My belly big, like a cushion. I never hungry. I don't worry. You make a story on my belly because it's big. Because it's big. I tell you, big belly season. Big belly season. Big belly season. I tell you, big belly season. Big belly season.